Hello, we are at Propstore and I'm joined by Tim Laws. We've also got Dan in the background. Say hello, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
And we're going to be covering off a few of the key pieces in this year's auction, which I'm so excited about. And the first piece we're going to cover off is the awesome Captain America screen matched shield. What can you tell us about it? It's just awesome to see in person.
Oh yeah, now the thing is with this, I think this is in actuality how you imagine it to be on screen. It's a heavy thing. It's made of metal. It's got all the it's leather, really nicely made leather handles on it. It's made from spun aluminium and then anodized paint with sort of bullet hits and of course it's made of vibranium.
Of course.
Really. Yeah, I just think it's one of those pieces that everybody knows what it is, and it is constructed in such a way is to be totally believable.
And is it quite heavy? Can I pick it up?
Yeah, absolutely, of course you can.
Oh wow, that is actually got some weight on it.
It really has.
I mean, obviously Chris Evans, let me just get my mic because you won't be able to. Chris Evans is obviously, you know, a bulky guy, as we've been told by Alex. But he's obviously been working out to be able to work with that. So I presume that they would have different versions of it, like the stunt versions that would be a bit lighter, because I can't imagine running.
That's exactly right. You've picked up immediately why there are different versions of props in films. This is a hero close-up beauty version of the prop. This is good for photo shoots, close-up shots. But when he's generally running around, he's going to have a lightweight, you know, a fiberglass or rubber version, which is much easier for a superhero to carry.
Oh, that is awesome. And I can't wait to see what that goes for at auction, because I know there are a lot of collectors out there that collect solely Marvel items, which, you know, is just crazy. I think there's a gentleman, I know you won't mind me mentioning him, his name, Thomas Derrick, that is very prominent online. And he has got quite a lot of the Captain America stuff already. I'm not sure if he's got a shield. So Thomas, if you are watching, get on it and get bidding online. But thank you, Tim.
Pleasure.
We'll move on to some other great items. So we're back with Tim Laws again, and we have I press record. Yes, wonderful. So I'm back with Tim Laws again, continuing the Marvel universe, and we've got an iconic piece that everyone's going to recognise from either the comic books or the multi-billion-pound grossing films, especially for Robert Downey Jr. It's the Iron Man helmet, which is just absolutely stunning to see in person. I don't know what it is. His head must have been quite small.
I guess maybe. I don't want to accuse him of having a tiny head.
Or I've just got an extraordinary big head. Maybe. But what can you tell me about this piece?
Yeah, so again, a Hero Mark 46 helmet from Civil War. A bit like the shield we looked at, this is, as you know, it appears as you imagine it on screen. Obviously, it's not made of, you know, whatever it was made of on screen, but, you know, it's a pretty stunningly put together piece, and you know you got things like this comes out, this is all magnetized, really clever piece of design. And then inside, I don't know if you can come in there for that. You've got the electrics, and it's also tagged there Hero RDJ, and we can get a little flick of the old switch there. We can get the eyes on there. The construction and the attention to detail, you know, so it's a comfortable fit for the actor, but at the same time, aesthetically, it's doing what it's supposed to do and look like a sort of bulletproof
It'll be really
helmet.
Interesting to find out how long he had to spend in that helmet.
Yeah.
Because it's got to feel quite claustrophobic being in that, but I suppose if you're being paid millions and millions and millions of dollars,
I believe I could do it.
Yeah, Yeah, that's awesome. And is it quite heavy?
No, go for it. You've got to imagine the actor's wearing all the armour, the whole body suit as well. So I imagine it gets pretty claustrophobic by the time the cameras actually roll.
I won't put it on, don't worry.
That's right. You already said you can't fit it on you.
Exactly. I mean, look at that. It's quite narrow, isn't it?
No, it is. Yeah, I know I couldn't get it on.
That is awesome. So again, I look forward to seeing this. It's just fantastic.
It's very cool, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I've always wanted to get the sort of replicas, but obviously this is on another level.
That's the trouble. Once you've seen the real one, the replica's not really going to cut it.
And the detail in it is just fantastic. I suppose the introduction of 4K and IMAX and everything like that, the detail that they've got to put in these costumes now is got to be immense, because
it has to look like it does. It has to light up. It has to, function the way the prop should, and that's the only way to do it now.
There you go, Ironman. Remember to go on to propstore.com, register right now and put your bids in. And I look forward to seeing which home this goes to if they do put it on social media. I'm sure it'll make some collector extremely happy.
That's the idea.
As long as it's not put into a cupboard or something like that, it needs to be put into a display for everyone to see. So there's no one out there that doesn't know what Star Wars is. And if you don't know what Star Wars is, turn away now. This is actually from the Anthony Daniels collection, and Anthony Daniels is world famous for playing C-3PO, and he's got some awesome items that is included within your auction. This is one of them. I would say explain what it is, but it's instantly recognisable. It really is.
Yeah. We're very lucky at Propstore that Anthony has chosen us to sell his lifelong collection of memorabilia. So this is probably the star of the show. Well, it is the star of the show. I mean, as you say, there are some amazing items in the collection, right, for his hand annotated scripts and cool sheets, and even some toys and things he had. So there's something for everyone. There's something there for all budgets. But this, as you say, I think along with Darth Vader, it's probably the most recognisable single thing from Star Wars. I think that's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah, I mean, this again, instantly recognisable. This is from, if I'm right in saying, the first movie,
A New Hope. Yep. I still call it Star Wars. But
yeah, the best one.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, again, this is so old, and the fact that it's been kept so well by Anthony himself, I just think it's fantastic, and it's been screen matched.
It has the dents on the forehead there, and also on the chin. It's not part of a mould. Those sections were cut out of the mask and hand applied so that they're unique. So this screen matches to a couple of scenes in Star Wars, and including the scene where the trash compactor is on the little microphone there.
I mean, the fact that Anthony has decided to give all this stuff up for auction, I think it's fantastic, because obviously he spent a lifetime being C-3PO, but now it's giving fans out there a chance to grab hold of something from his personal collection.
Right. It's very important for Anthony that his fans get a chance to own a piece of C-3PO, and he's comfortable letting it go now after all this time. And we wish him the best of luck.
This is fantastic. And if you look on the screen, you'll see what lot number, like all the others, you'll see the lot number, the estimates, and obviously where to go to get onto the website to actually bid. So we're joined by Stephen Lane, the CEO of Propstore, and we're talking Star Wars, which is everyone's favourite, and this helmet here just brings back all my childhood memories, just in a massive explosion. If you could talk us through what this piece is and a bit about it.
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, this is an Imperial TIE Fighter pilot helmet from Star Wars A New Hope. It's one of approximately 13 or 14 that were made for the first film. I say approximately. It's believed that I think 14 were made and maybe only 13 were actually used for filming purposes. As you look at the sort of design and aesthetic, I mean, obviously this is born out of Ralph McQuarrie's original designs and then brought to real life, for film. by Academy Award winning costume designer John Mollo. But as you look at it, they've done a little bit of cheating here. This is all about budget. So you actually have the front faceplate here is of course a Stormtrooper helmet, and then the upper component of it is a Rebel helmet, so a Rebel pilot helmet. So amalgamated together, you get a TIE fighter. It's one of the things actually that throws people when they first look at a TIE fighter helmet is just the size of it, the girth of it. I mean, it really is a big helmet. Let's talk about what's particularly special about this helmet. This is not just from Star Wars: A New Hope, but it's actually screen matched to a very key scene in the film, which is when the Millennium Falcon is escaping from the Death Star. And this is one of the TIE pilots that attacks the Millennium Falcon at that time. So full screen, you know, in all of its glory. This particular helmet can be seen in close-up. And it's incredibly distinctive. You know, all of the TIE fighters pilots' helmets that were made were this black finish. They have the Imperial cogs on here as well. But distinctive to this is this sort of mohawk detailing here. So this is the only one that has that style of paint and finish to it. And it's that predominantly that allows us to screen match it. I mean, it's very apparent and very obvious from that. But there's also some of the wear and tear and distressing that you see on here. Some of it looks like, you know, it's over 40 years old. It should look old. But actually a lot of that was present during filming as well. So we can see a lot of that on screen too.
That is also, I mean, how rare are these to come across? Because you say that this is the only one with the mohawk, but in general, you know, the Star Wars helmets, I mean, how rare are they within the industry?
Well, there are really only two helmets that can be, I suppose you could designate hero in so much as they have very specific detailing. So there's this one, the Mohawk, and then there is the silver teardrop version as well, which you see later in the film. So those are the only two that you know, you'd really specifically call out as individually identifiable. Those are both in private hands. Well, obviously we have this one here and the other one's in private hands. Outside of that, there's really only a couple of these helmets with collectors today. So, you know, if you think about, let's say there were 14 made originally, we know where these two are, so that brings us down to 12. Now, of those 12, two of those were repurposed for Empire Strikes Back as AT-AT pilots. So they repainted them in the grey finish and put all these new greeblies over the top of them. So that discounts another two. Then, as I say, there's really just a handful in private hands, so they are incredibly rare. And what's great about this is that it's in complete original condition as well. So it's unrestored, it's untouched, it still has its original foam liner on the inside of the helmet, and it has its elasticated strap on the underside too. So yeah, I mean, super rare.
That's awesome. And why I've got you, is there a piece in this year's auction that you think that's going to just blow everyone's mind?
Oh, well, we have a little raffle in-house about that, you know, and there's been a lot of discussion about that, and we're always wrong because it's so difficult to predict. I think the good, the bad and the ugly, the Lee Van Cleef hat, I think, you know, that coming into us was just a major moment when it came through our ticketing system. It was, you know, photos of the hat, photos of the consigner sitting on Lee Van Cleef's knee when he was a 6-year-old kid or thereabouts, wearing the hat back in the 60s. And I think, you know, items from the spaghetti westerns, and arguably one of the best westerns of all time, you know, to turn up like that with that level of provenance. So it was gifted by Lee Van Cleef to this kid. That kid is now grown up into the consigner who's consigned it directly into the auction. So the chain of provenance for it is just exceptional as well. So I think that's going to shock and surprise people just because it's so exceptionally rare to see anything from those films. So maybe that one, but you know, with 1,800 lots in the sale,
it's anyone's game. But thank you so much, Stephen. To me, you're like my Willy Wonka, my Walt Disney. But thank you so much for joining me and giving me an insight of the TIE Fighter helmet.
That's a pleasure.
Yeah. So with this year, we saw the latest Indiana Jones movie come out. To mixed reviews. I liked it, Tim.
I liked it, yeah.
There you go. But we've got here some amazing pieces dating back quite a few years. If you could tell us about the shirt, and
Sure.
Again, instantly recognisable.
Yeah, I mean, Harrison Ford's shirt from Raiders and Harrison Ford's whip from Temple of Doom. Job done, instant collection.
There you go. Right, we'll move on to the next one. No, we won't. But as you can see here, if we get a close-up It's not a simple whip. It comes with something else, which I think is
Yeah,
really
so
sweet.
obviously Harrison Ford, the whip in itself is an iconic weapon. It's an image that most people, he uses the whip before you even see his face on screen. It's such an important part of the character. A few whips have sold over the years for varying prices. However, this one's a bit special because it, as you can see there, a note from Harrison Ford. Argue with him if you want to. I'm not going to argue with him. On his personal stationery, and he's quite clearly stating this is the whip he used in Temple of Doom, and it's fantastic. The provenance is awesome.
And I know I keep on harping about this because the rarity of these items. I mean, the whips. I've seen a few in the past, but how rare are they to come to auction, especially with this sort of thing attached to it?
They're pretty rare. I mean, obviously, we this is our business, so we see these. We see them when they crop up from time to time over the years. We're talking about a period of 30 years as well. There's not many of these around. We sold one about 5 years ago. Did very well, but there would have been a handful, different lengths on each movie, and also these whips would have been recycled onto other movies as stunt weapons and background weapons, and when a close-up wasn't required. So yeah, they're pretty rare.
And the thing I like about this shirt as well is that it's screen matched. Did you say?
It is screen matched. Now this was custom made for Harrison Ford, and as such, it was actually quite crudely put together. I don't know if you can see there the two pockets. If you look at along the line of the top of the pockets, they're crooked. The one's higher than the other. That's a pretty distinctive feature in itself. But also, you can match up various stitching, crinkles, folds, marks to a number of scenes, including the idol exchange scene at the beginning of the first movie, which is, I still maintain, is one of the greatest indie moments of them all. That opening scene is just fantastic. And then later on in the scenes that were filmed in Tunisia, obviously he doesn't wear a jacket in those scenes, so it's very much an image of the movie, Harrison Ford in the shirt.
Yeah.
And there are a number of scenes there that screen match.
And I love how it's a bit grimy. Like,
it is.
You know that it's being used.
Yeah, I hope it's all from the movie, but I'd imagine after a few decades of storage, some of that is probably more recent.
Excellent, thank you. So as it is Halloween in a few days' time, it's only fitting to showcase for me what Halloween is all about. It's Freddy Krueger. If you could tell us a bit about these awesome pieces.
Yeah, this is something quite special, really. This is we've sold a few Freddy gloves in the past from the sequels, but this is the original. This is from the first movie. It's one of a kind. It was also used for some scenes in the second movie, but I don't know about you, but I think that first movie is a very high quality film. I mean, it really is a good film, and it's the movie that started the franchise. It launched Robert Englund as a horror icon. This is a screen matched original glove. You can match up various world marks to publicity photos and the movie itself. The glove itself is a replica, just to that didn't survive, but the metalwork there is all original. And we also have one of the original concept drawings, one of the original parts of the creation of a horror icon. So they go together and in one lot.
Do you know, I just would love to know how they came up with the concept. Do you know what I mean? We're going to make a horror movie. What are we going to get the villain to have? And this is just terrifying.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know. Wes Craven's thought process on this? Yeah, I don't know, because obviously you look at it now and just think it's genius. It's absolutely fantastic. The sweater, the hat, and obviously the glove. Above all, the glove. Brilliant and terrifying.
It is, isn't it? Is this?
Yes, metal.
Wow. Very dangerous in the wrong hands, obviously. But thank you, Tim.
Pleasure.
So coming up, I think it's next year, we've got the new Gladiator movie, but everyone remembers the Ridley Scott Gladiator from many moons ago. And I can't believe I'm stood here in front of two of the key, outfit costumes from the movie. If you could tell us a bit about them, Tim.
Sure, they're pretty spectacular, aren't they? So you have Joaquin Phoenix's final battle armour and Russell Crowe's final battle armour. So with perhaps starting with Russell Crowe, we've sold a number of variations of his armour. It changed as the film went on. He kind of added kind of told a story with the armour, so these pieces are added. I think the final piece was the mother and son. So this is the costume he wears for the final showdown with Joaquin Phoenix's character. And this is a very desirable set. We've had numerous inquiries over the years about where's this set, and so I think this is going to do very well. I think it's going to be a lot of people looking at this. It's a hero version. It's leather, detailed and finished, kind of how you'd expect it for a Hollywood star. Obviously, Russell won an Oscar for his portrayal of Maximus. And then you have Joaquin Phoenix's armour, which is just stunning to look at. It's an incredible visual thing, kind of befitting his role as this, leader that probably didn't see a battlefield too often, but was very interested in how he looked, how he presented. That screen matches, so again you can match up some of the cracks and markings on the armour to that final scene.
I mean, how exciting is it for Propstore as a company to actually, have, these two pieces and finally have them in auction? Because, as you said, the Russell Crowe outfit, that you've had some in the past, but to have both of them together,
yeah,
I mean,
it's pretty exciting. We certainly don't get blasé about the incredible items that we handle, but at the same time, these are just two more lots in our very impressive sale, and they're not my favourite pieces, as stunning as they are, but. No, it's terribly exciting, and we love handling this stuff, and ultimately it's the look on the collector's face. The guy who ends up with one or both of these is going to be a very happy chap or lady, and it's special stuff. Very good. And
what an awesome movie! It's going to last forever in our minds. In the way I think the term is, what we do in this life echoes in eternity, which I love that saying. I really do. But
yeah, I think because it's a period drama and so beautifully done. It doesn't date in any way at all, and the performances are brilliant, the special effects are brilliant, the story's brilliant, and it's always going to be a great film. And
I'm not sure if Russell Crowe is involved. I know, obviously, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I don't know who's involved in the second one coming. But again, I don't think it's going to be. I suppose from a nostalgic point of view, it's not going to be as good as the original. But hopefully, I'm looking forward to it. So
fingers crossed.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.